But after President Trump, I say Nikki Haley may arguably be the biggest superstar of 2017. Israeli Ambassador Danny Danon applauded her, in fact, right here on the show last night. Let's watch.
But we are very happy that we have a good friend like Ambassador Haley. We are very proud of the decision of the president. And I'm used to see bashing at the UN of Israel. But today we saw bashing of Israel and the United States. There's a lot of hypocrisy in the UN, and we think we should change that. Jerusalem has been the capital of the state of Israel. It will be the capital of the state of Israel. King David decided that it would be the capital 3,000 years ago. So coming to the UN and hearing all those lies and incitement, it is unacceptable. The Prime Minister called it a house of lies.
Here with me now to discuss Mark Meckler, Tea Party Patriots co-founder and Citizens for Self-Governance president. John Burnett, New York GOP strategic advisor, and back with us is Ron Meyer. Mark, let me start with you. I just don't get this. America pays 22% of the United Nations tab, 28% for peacekeeping missions. We've spent trillions of dollars since World War II around the world, and we've lost hundreds of thousands of lives being the sheriff of the planet. And we get dissed over and over and over again. And we took a stance that we should have taken a long time ago on behalf of Israel. What are your thoughts?
Well, you know, contrary to what Scarborough said, it's been an embarrassment of the UN for the last 8 years. It's been much better with President Trump and Nikki Haley. She's the sleeper player of the year. I think it was an extraordinary job. And let me add a quick aside, Charles. I was at a Turning Point USA conference, 3,000 kids between 18 and 25. The biggest applause line of the entire conference. Donald Trump Jr. spoke. It was about moving the embassy to Jerusalem. So the American people love it.
They do, John. I mean, you know the GOP politics, but specifically New York and what happens particularly in the United Nations. And they've run roughshod over America, whether it's the millions of dollars of traffic tickets in New York and the billions and billions that we've poured into this thing, and arguably with not a lot to show for it.
That's absolutely true. But you know what? It was really great to witness a strong woman stand up to the world and deliver the president's message. And the president is clear. He is no longer standing for the status quo. The president talks the talk, tweets the tweet, and walks the walk. So it's not going to be business as usual anymore.
Ron, is it possible not to be business as usual? Now, it's one thing for the rhetoric, right? But it's another thing to say, okay, we're actually going to pull funding. A lot of folks are saying this morning, you know what, it's just a bluff.
No, I mean, I think they're setting themselves up to do it. Listen, if we're going to cut spending after tax cuts, if we're going to cut wasteful spending, we have to look at our foreign aid. We have to look at our funding to the UN. We have to look at a lot of different places. Are we getting the bang for our buck? We should always be asking when we're spending money, what is the return on investment? And our return on investment to sending money to some of these countries is abysmal. We're sending money to countries that despise us. We're sending money to countries that help terrorists that try to attack us. We have to stop doing this. And so I think that President Trump and Ambassador Haley are starting to make the case on why we need to really look at our foreign aid budget. President Trump ran on it, and now I think they're starting to back it up with their rhetoric, and we will see some action coming soon.
Mark, you know, there is one side of the political aisle that believes that we should be good universal citizens, good world citizens. Remember, President Obama began his presidency with a sort of apology tour around the world for all the things that America did. You know, you almost felt like we were one of these old colonial nations that at one point had, you know, all of these nations under our thumb. But that persists, and it shocks me. But what do you think would it take to get rid of that notion that somehow we're obligated and we owe the world something? Mark?
Look, I don't think we're going to get rid of it on the left. That belief set has been tested over the last 8 years during the Obama administration. The world is on fire. It's in chaos. It's less secure than ever before because of 8 years of that idea. And literally in the last year, things have changed towards the more secure, less fires, really things looking more stable with American leadership because of the strong leadership of President Trump and Nikki Haley. So I think they're going to continue on this course. Anybody that thinks President Trump is a bluffer hasn't been watching him for the last year.
How would it look, John? I mean, we pull some cash, just a little bit of cash, or remove a program or two, just to sort of send a message. And and even if we did, would that get any of these nations to sort of change their mind? And particularly, I'm shocked with some of these European nations that are dealing with issues right now that echo back to the past.
That is absolutely true. Look, we're not going to be the largest contributor and at the same time run trade deficits with everyone. After a while, you go out of business in business, right?
Right.
So President Trump understands that. And he also understands, wait a minute, you know what? They're trying to call my bluff. I have to do something. So it's a matter of the degree in which we pull back,
right,
how, and the timing.
Right. And of course, we know it's our Judeo-Christian, beliefs that one of the reasons we come to the aid of the world, and it's right, we probably will always come to the aid of the world to a certain degree, but I think we'd like to be appreciated as well. Thank you, gentlemen, very much.